my friends. Welcome to another live. I hope you guys are well. How you guys are doing? On my end, it's a beautiful day today. We're kind of surprised out here because it's so warm. I think it's like 22 degrees and we are in November. Can you imagine that? We're having some Indian summer days and I'm so happy. So let me do this live quick so I can go enjoy some beautiful, fresh air and sunlight. Although I was outside for a lot of period of time today, not my job, but anyways, it's all good. But today we're gonna talk about life. Let's talk about life and like how to live your life pleasing for you and stop letting people own you or stop believing that people own you because nobody owns you. You own you. And it's sad. You see the topic today? The topic is they don't own you. So stop being afraid. Take control of your life. A lot of people are afraid to take control of their lives. They are allowing people to push them around. They're allowing people to dictate their lives, tell them what to do, how to do it. And many people out there are so unhappy. And sadly, like if you, the individual, don't take control of your life, you're going to be sad every single day. And it's a sad thing because you only have one life and you don't know how long you're going to be on this earth. So why would you want to live your life unhappy? Why would you want to live your life being pushed around by others? That I don't understand. So let's talk about that today in this live. Let me just make sure my camera and everything is in the right place. And yeah, let's fix this tripod. So guys, let's talk. So we see a lot of things is happening today in society. Like there's so much craziness that is happening. You know, it's like when you put on the TV, it's like, whoa, you almost don't want to watch TV. You don't want to watch news. You want to live in a bubble. But sadly, you can't live in a bubble because you got to find out what is happening around you so you can make some decisions, right? You can't just be like, okay, I'm not watching news. Oh, I don't want to know here. I don't want to know that. Because, yeah, you got to know what's down the road. You know, are there tigers and dragons down there? If I go down there, I'm going to get eaten. If you don't watch the news and you don't know down the road there's tigers and dragons, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, you're just going to be eaten because you don't take the time to know what's happening around you. So that's very, very important. So, like, I am having, like, every time I go somewhere to the grocery store or I see somebody, I am like, people are complaining about their job, people are complaining about others, people are complaining about how, you know, life is just sad and everybody's complaining about something. But when you hear their story or you hear what they have to say, it is because they are being controlled by something. People are controlled by their jobs, people are controlled by their family, people are controlled by their spouses, people are controlled by their extended family. Is why allowing your extended family, your job, whatever, why are you allowing those external forces to control you, right? Like you are created on this earth here by the Father who created every single person who's here. And so why are you allowing somebody else to dictate to you and tell you how you should live your life? Like that's not right because obviously you're definitely going to be unhappy. That is a whole fact about it. That's a whole fact about it. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the live, everybody. Thank you for coming. So so I just want to tell you guys, like, listen, nobody owns you, right? You need to realize that everyone was given a mind of their own and start using your own mind. And you have a beautiful mind. Everybody has a beautiful mind. You just have to tap into that beautiful mind and start using the good things that are inside your mind. Stop allowing people to come and corrupt your mind and push you around and tell you, oh, do this, oh, make this decision, take this job, do that, do that. When you're not passionate about that thing, you don't even like that thing doesn't give you joy, doesn't bring you happiness. Why? I don't understand. Now, I'm not saying not if you're a person who is, you have a good family or you have good people who are around you and they're, you know, giving you good advice and say, you know, hey, how how about you do this? They're asking you a question, or they're discussing with you and trying to make good discussions and see how you can make your life better. Now, yeah, that is like good advice because somebody care about you, they have your back, and they want to see you do good. That's different. So somebody's giving you good advice and telling you, you know, man, I think you should come over here and apply for this job. I'm making $25 an hour. I'll talk to my boss. You know, I'll try to get you in. That's somebody who care about you, somebody who wants to make sure that, you know, they see your situation and they want to help you out. Like, this is good advice. Now, maybe you don't like the job, but at least the person's trying to help you, and you can say yes or no. But if you're in a bad situation and the job is not so bad, it's not like the end of the world. Maybe the job is just very simple and something that you can do. You may not love it, but you're gonna do it because you need the money and the finances at that time, and it's not like a big deal for you. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna get some experience, and maybe you're gonna leave that job in the next couple of months because you get some experience, something like that. But if you deeply feel like me, nah, I don't like this job, I can't do that job, then just don't do it. Just do something else. You know what I'm saying? Like, make your own decision. Do the things that really make you, you know, just jive. And don't do things that don't make you jive. And never do something because you're in a bad situation and you're just like, oh, I need the money, I need that. That doesn't make any sense too, because that just make you unhappy, and you're gonna do stuff because you need the money. Like, never do stuff because you need money. Like, don't, yeah, that's, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. Okay. Money can be the root to evil if you yourself allow it to be, right? But it doesn't have to be like that. So, like I said, nobody owns you. So stop allowing people to run you and tell you what to do. Have your own mind and use your own thoughts and think for your own self, and decide for yourself that this is something that I want to do, something I don't want to do, something I want to try, something I don't want to try. You know, decide for yourself. The next point is stop allowing jobs to own you. Many of you are sadly allowing your jobs to own you. Like, let me tell you something. The job that you're working in does not own you. I was taking a course, and this course, I think it was like the most, I don't even know how to describe the course, but it was a good course. But the people who were taking the course had so much problems. It was just incredible. And they had people were taking the course, they were like in various different, you know, various jobs. But everybody in that job, in their jobs, well, in the various jobs are people in the class who are taking the course, they were afraid to say things in their job. They saw things happening in their job. People are saying, oh, I don't want to say nothing. Next thing I lose my job. You know, I don't want to blow a whistle. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. I'm saying to myself, are you kidding me? Like, you're in a job, you're seeing things that is happening that is not right, and you're just going on because you don't want to lose your job. What kind of thing is that? Where is your ethics? Like, people have really lost their ethics in this life, you know. And some of these people, they're working with elderly people, they're working with children. And you know what get me upset the most when I was taking that course is the people that was working with children, and they were refusing to say what was happening to the kids in their care. Like, kids are being mistreated, you know, and spoken to in a bad way, you know, not taken care of properly, you know. And I'm saying, but wait a minute, you're getting paid to do a job, and you are not doing your job properly because you're scared somebody's going to fire you. What is more important? You, your job, your family, or the child that you're taking care of? And I think people kind of lost, they kind of lost it. So I stood up and I said, well, I was working in a place, which is going to remain nameless. And I said, I saw some things that were happening to kids with special needs, and I reported them. And the person was very upset at me because I reported, and I didn't care because my job there is to take care of the children. And if you are an employee, or whoever you are, and you're working there and you're not doing the job properly, or your kids are getting hurt, or you're not following safety procedures for children, I'm not going to stand there and watch you while people put their kids in our care and expect them to be in one piece, and then when you come home, then your kid, something is wrong with your kid. No, I'm not going to do that. You know, many times I'm in this place and I see like a child fall down, they have bruises, blah blah. Then the parent calls me and say, oh, Madam ma'am, do you know what happened? I'm like, well, I do know what happened, but I wasn't the one who was out there with the children when it was playtime. So why are you calling me? Oh, so and so and so and so said they should call you. Why me? You understand what I'm saying? So now when I speak up and I say, well, I'm sorry, Madam so and so was outside, you should talk to her. Then Madam so and so come to me and say, but why didn't you just say that the child fell down? I'm like, no, I'm not gonna lie for anybody and say anybody fall down. Like, tell the people what happened. Tell them what happened. I'm not lying for anybody in this job, and that is how I am. Like, I think, honesty is the best policy, and sadly, some people, they have no honesty and they have no, I don't know, no policy within themselves. So no, sorry, I'm not gonna lie for anybody, and I'm not gonna let any job own me. No, I'll move on to another job. No job own me. Nobody own me. The only person who own me is God. And what you have to realize is, most of these jobs, they need you. You like you are. They need you to perform a task. They need you to perform a service. You are important. So why are you there shaking like some kind of mouse because you're scared that the rat is gonna eat you? Like, you're there to do a service. You have skills, you have ability. That's what you're there for. So you go there like a very confident person and you show your skill set, and you do not allow anybody to treat you like a mouse ready to be eaten by the cat. You understand? So that's what it is. Remember, you're there because you're an educated person, a skillful person, a person who's there for the company, to help the company to make money. And if they think they don't need you, then you go somewhere else where the company value you and you're going to make money. And the next thing is, a lot of you are allowing jobs to own you because you have put yourself in a situation where you need those jobs more than maybe the job needs you. You have this high car payment, you have this expensive houses, your lifestyle is way overboard that you can't afford. So if you don't have this job, well, it's going to be a problem for you. Why? Why? Like, I don't understand. Why are people like living their life like that? Why you want to always have people like depending on somebody? Like, you have to be the boss of your own life. Like, you shouldn't be like, oh, I have to go to this job because I won't be able to pay my rent. I have to go to this job because I can't pay for my car payments. Why? Like, I don't understand. Me, I drive a car that is paid for. I'm not in my entire life, I have never buy a new car but like every month I'm there laying, oh, I have to pay $400. Listen, that's not happening. It's not happening. I don't want to be owing any single person. I will take the bus. I will take the bus. I will take the train. I will buy a bus ticket until I'm able to buy a car. If I cannot buy a car cash, I am not taking any vehicle on hire purchase. You become a slave to these people who you buy the vehicle from. You become a slave. You understand? You're a slave. When you buy this, when you rent in these apartments that are so expensive, yeah, it's fancy, you have all the beautiful things. You become a slave to the person who you're renting the apartment from, because when you get your paycheck, half of the paycheck goes to these people and the majority doesn't go to you. So like, why you one life that you have, why are you going to choose to live it like that? Like, you're buying a house, the house is so expensive, $500,000 house, you paying $3,000-$4,000 in mortgage. Why at the end of the month you just have a few $100s left? Why? That's a question I like ask people all the time. And this is conversations I have with people all the time. I'm like, why you have such a high mortgage? You know what I'm saying? Why? And that's a question they can't answer. Oh, the house is beautiful, but I'm really dying with paying the mortgage every month. I'm like, okay, are you gonna pay this mortgage for the rest of your life? They're like, well, I guess we're already locked in. And their life is miserable because you have no life, because you live in your life to pay stuff. That's what it is. Yeah, you driving this fancy car, it looks nice, but you're paying this car and you don't really have a life. You're living to pay this car. You live in this beautiful house, but you don't really have a life. You're living to pay this house. You're not free. Like, people, you're not free. You're stuck. You're stuck with all this stuff. Like, you're stuck with these things. If you don't understand that, like, you're stuck. These things are owning you. These things are taking over your life. You can't go for a vacation. You can not work for 2-3 days because you're stuck paying all that stuff. Me, I don't have that things. Like, I don't have none of that stuff. And I've always said that I don't want to be a slave to anyone. I don't want to be a slave to a system. I don't want to be a slave to anything. So I'm not a slave to a car payment. I'm not a slave to any job. And I'm not a slave to any mortgage and stuff like that. I do have a mortgage, but a small mortgage that I can pay. When I get my paycheck, half of it is not going to my mortgage. I'm telling you right now. Like a third of it is going to my mortgage, but not a half or like listen, when I was looking for houses, I look for the cheapest house on the market. And like right now, I wouldn't like if the prices of the houses when I was buying a house back then was this price, never. I would never own a house in this country. You understand? But you can still own a house in this country, but you have to buy a very cheap house that you can afford. Like buy a house for like 200 and something $1,000 where you have like $1,000 mortgage or $900 mortgage, or you buy a house for $300,000. You put a good down payment down, so you have like a $1,200 mortgage, like a small mortgage, like not a big mortgage. Like people, guys, think. Really, is that the life that you want to live? You want to be owned by people? Is that's the life you want to live? Think about it. Think about it really good. The next point I want to make is like why you're so afraid of your boss. Tell me why you're afraid. Tell me why you are so afraid of your boss. Let me ask you guys that. The boss is just like you. He's just a person like you. You understand? I was working in this place, and I think I told you guys this story in one live already. And everybody was scared of the boss except me. I wasn't afraid of him. He's a person like me. Why should I afraid of him? Because he's my boss and he's paying me money. Why should I be afraid? Like when he's in the building, everybody's scoring around. Even there's nothing to do, nobody sitting down, everybody running around like ants and acting like like if they're so scared. I'm like, what's going on here? Like, why you guys running around? Like there's nothing to do, sit down. No, the boss is here, we can't sit down. Act like if you're working. I'm like, I'm not acting like if I'm working because there's no work to be done. Until somebody brings something, I will do it. And that's what I did. And because they were doing that, he knew that they were afraid of him. So he was yelling at people, being mean to people. He didn't try that with me. And the day he tried that with me, I had to put him in his place. And he told me, he said, oh, okay, you're fired today. I'm like, okay. I said, no problem. My house doesn't have bugs or ants or anything biting me. I'm happy to go home. And he was shocked. He was like, what? I'm like, you heard me. You heard what I said. Goodbye. I'm going to take my bag. So I was leaving. Then he ran after me and says like, oh, I apologize. And I was angry, blah, blah. I said, don't ever talk to me like that again. Ever. You must be my boss, pay me money, but you don't ever talk to me like that. He never talked to me like that again, ever. I worked there for years and never had any problem with him. He respected me. You understand? But other people, they're still running around like ants. Running around like ants, trying to do stuff. Oh, the boss is here, guys. The boss. Listen, nobody owns you. You understand? You're not supposed to be afraid of anybody. The next point is stop allowing debt to own you. Debt is something that owns people. When I was in school, I was like, I don't want to owe any debt. So you know what I did? I work and studied part-time. That's what I did because I didn't want to be owned by no debt. When I got my degree, I was like, I don't have to be like, oh my gosh, I have to get to work right away. No, I didn't do that. Let me tell you something. It was hard getting a degree and going to school, getting a degree and working. Was it a sacrifice? Yes, it was a big sacrifice. But right now, I don't owe $30,000, $50,000, $0. I don't owe anybody, any institution. I don't have any student loan. I don't have any of that stuff. And some of you are so impatient. Oh, I want to get this degree. I want to do this. I want to do that. I want to do the other. Patience is a virtue. All right? Be patient and work things slowly because at the end, you're going to be rejoicing and you're going to be very happy at the end. Don't be following people going to take $30,000 in student loan, $50,000 in student loan. No. Work a job. If you're doing a degree that's going to take 3 years to finish, if you go full time and take your student loan or whatever, let the thing take you 4 years. Let the thing take you longer, but you make sure you have a job and you're working. You're going to get there. You're going to school, you're 19, 20, 21, whatever. Yeah, it's going to be a little while before you get a degree, but it's going to be worth in the end. It's going to be worth in the end because you will not have the heartache of worrying about, oh, I got to pay my student loan. Oh, I got to pay my student loan. The interest, the this, the that, it's not worth it. I don't have any of that troubles, and I'm so happy that I did it. But it was a great sacrifice. Someday I was tired, I was miserable, but I did it, and I'm very, very happy. And I told my kids to do the same thing. The same thing. Don't you dare go in debt to do anything, because you become a slave to that system, you become a slave to that debt. Do things slowly. You know something that's a good thing you can do? If you want to go in a certain field, take, like, say if you want to go in childcare or something, take a course or some certification for 1 year, like a 1 year certification that's gonna get you into the field that you want to work in, right? And then when you get this 1 year certification or the 6 month certification, you're already working in the field. So you gain experience, and then you can take your time, 2 years or 3 years to get the degree after. So that's a way you can handle things. If you're a younger person in your 20s and you're just trying to start up your life, that's a way. And I did that. I wanted to go in education, so I got some smaller certifications to work with kids and stuff like that. So while I was getting my degree, I was working in a daycare center because I want to work with kids. So I had some certification to work in daycare center. I got some autism certificate. I got different things. So I was able to be working in my field and at the same time studying to get my degree. You understand? So these are things that you can do instead of going to take the student loan and then you have to worry for it after. Don't do that, guys. Don't do it. Don't do it. I'm telling you. Like, don't let anybody own you. Don't let student loan own you. Don't let car payments own you either. Save up your money and buy a little cheap car. You can buy a car for $5,000. You can buy a car for $6,000. You can buy a car for $7,000. Listen, if you have a job, right, and you want to save to buy a car, in 1 year time, you can save and buy a car. It depends on your budget. What you're looking for. You can start with a little cheaper car and then you move on to a more expensive car. Maybe you want to save your money to eight, nine, $10,000 and you buy a more expensive car. But start small. Start with $5,000, buy a car for $5,000, maybe buy a car for $3,500. It's an old car, maybe it's 10 years old or whatever. Make sure you take it to the mechanic, make sure everything is working, take it from point A to B. It may not be the most fancy car up to date 2024, 2023, but the car takes you where it's going. My van is 10 years old. It takes me where I'm going. I have no problem with it. You know what I'm saying? So like you have to look at life like that. Some people just want to jump into stuff and then you become a slave. You become a slave. People own you. You have no control of your life. Things are controlling your life, not you. Everything is controlling you. The house is controlling you. You want to buy a house. Why are you buying this expensive house for? You may have a job right now paying you $50,000, $60,000. What happens if you get sick? What happens if you lose a job? How is the house gonna pay? Is anybody thinking about that? I always think about that stuff. I'm like, when I used to rent apartments, I'm like, okay, I have a job now. Now there are some beautiful apartments that I love, beautiful, everything that I want. But I'm saying to myself, okay, if I spend $1,000 more on this apartment, it's beautiful. It's my dream apartment. But I'm saying to myself, what if I lose my job? And where am I going to get this extra $1,000 to pay? So I decline. I'm like, no, I'm not going to take this apartment. I'm going to rent a cheaper apartment for $800 or $900. I mean, that was that time. Now apartments is much more expensive, right? But they were beautiful apartments, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna check the cheaper apartment, the dump. Honestly, I took some place that was like the dump. I'll fix it up. It's better in my own interest for me to pay half of that, fix up like a place that looks really dilapidated, make it my own style, and have my money in my pocket. That's what I did for years, 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 years. That's exactly what I did. Because to me, it doesn't make sense. What makes sense to me is to be financially stable and to have money in my pocket so I can be free. No system can run me. No system can own me. You know what I'm saying? Like if there's an apartment for $1,000 and there's one for $600, I'm going to take the one for $600 because for me, it's better. Even if I'm working for $60,000 a year and I could afford a much more expensive apartment, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to take the cheaper one because it helps me to live the life that I want to live. I want to be free. My rent is so low. I can travel. I can do this. I can do that. Like I really have a life and I can enjoy myself. But if I take the more expensive apartment, that extra money that I could be enjoying myself with is going to somebody and not me. And I think a lot of people like they don't think about that stuff. Oh, they just see something and they just want it. But are you thinking long term? Are you thinking about the impact it's gonna have on your life? Like, yeah, people gotta think more when they make certain decisions. It's not the glam and the glitter, is your life, your lifestyle. How is that going to impact my lifestyle? How is that going to impact my family? You know what I'm saying? Like long term, how is it going to impact me? financially. And that's why a lot of people nowadays, they're complaining about stuff because they don't think about long-term situation. They only think about short-term. Oh, this looks beautiful, I want it, and they get it. And then they didn't think about the long-term situation. They lose their job, they lose their house, they lose their job, they lose their car, they lose their job, they have to move out of the apartment. You know what I'm saying? So you have to think long terms on things. Like stop allowing debt to own you and stop being a slave to the system of debt. You understand? Just don't do it. If you're a young person and you're starting your life and you're watching this video, take every word that I say because it is worth it and you're going to thank me later. The next point I want to make is stop giving up your freedom. When you do those things, you're actually giving up your freedom. Like you have a 9 to 5, which is great. Nothing wrong with a 9 to 5, but you have all these bills to pay, right? You have credit card bills to pay, house bill to pay, car bill to pay. I don't know what other things you guys have, but nowadays everybody has something to pay because everybody just wants to be in this fancy Instagram, YouTube, this fake life. You understand? Buying Gucci bags, all these expensive things that people can't afford. You understand? So everybody wants to be the glam and glitter, movie, fashion. But you guys know, like when you watch movies and stuff, it's all acting. I used to act. I used to be an actor years when I was younger, in my early 20s. It's acting. They put on makeup on you. They put on clothes on you to suit the role. This is not real life. Somebody is there narrating, making up a story. So what you see is not real. It's all made up. But sadly, some of you think it's real and you're trying to live this make up life, which is causing you problem. And you're actually giving up your freedom, right? Security was promised to you, but it's all an illusion. I'm going to say it again. Security was promised to you, but it's all an illusion, right? The ruling class will not protect you when SHI hits the fan. And that's what you people have to understand. The ruling class is not going to come to your rescue when you make these bad choices. Like, do you see when we have any disaster or something like that? The ruling class people who have money, they take care of themselves. The poor people have to fend for themselves. The middle class people have to fend for themselves. Everybody have to fend for themselves depending on their own class. You don't see the high class people coming down to help the poor. Neither the middle class coming down to help the poor, or vice versa. Like you don't see, like none of that happens. So whatever class you are in, you have to stop giving up your freedom to the higher class above you or to the class below you. No, you have to keep your freedom. And the freedom of that is stop living in an illusion, protect yourself, and make sure that you're secure in your life. Make sure that you're secure financially so that when things happen, you're able to get up and go and you're not needing an external person to help you, or you're not stranded. You're not like, oh, woe unto me, what am I going to do? So that is what I'm talking about. Take control of your life. It's very important that you take control of your life, and these are things that will help you to take control of your life. Like start taking back your freedom. Like learn skills, like real skills, not like fake skills. Learn a real skill, like how to really survive. A lot of people out here, they don't know really how to survive. If something happened, they don't know what to do. They're like, oh, is the country gonna send the army? Oh, are they gonna send food to us? Oh, is the store gonna be open? Like hello, you cannot be dependent on a system to save you. You have to depend on yourself to survive, you and your family. Like these powers that are out there, they're not for you, it's for themselves. And it's all an illusion. And if you look in the past, you see when things happen, these people, they stick to themselves based on their class. So you people out there who I'm talking to, learn some sense. Learn to survive in this society. Learn to save your money. Learn to have a budget. Learn to have a pantry like I talked about yesterday. Learn to make better decisions when it comes to your life and your money and your living situation. Try to get some land. Try to live in like a cheaper environment. Move if you have to move in a better place so you can have a better life for your family. the the best life you can have is when you are free. When you are free in your life. It's like when I was living in the Caribbean, like I'm a free person. I don't have to pay any rent because the land that we're living on, we don't have to pay for it. It's family land. The house that we're living in, it's our house. We built it out with our own hands. Like we're not paying a rent. Free water. We can go to the stream and get water. Like we're not tied to any system. No system whatsoever. So any money that we bring into our home, it's ours. We're not paying anybody for it. Like we're not paying anybody to live. We're living because we're providing for ourselves and we're happy to live. We can just close up our house and decide to go to another island for a month. We can afford to do that. But if you're tied to stuff, you can't do that stuff. You're not free. And that is what I'm saying here. So take back your freedom and learn the real skills. We're not talking about learning the real skills. I'm talking about learning how to take care of yourself in the sense that learn how to be self-sufficient. Learn how to grow things. Learn how to make things. Learn how to create things. Like instead of buying, consuming all the time, see how you can produce something on your own. How can you produce something and make it of benefit to your family, make it free to you so you don't have to be buying it? It's like a good example is like thrifting. The thrift store has so much fabric, sheets, all kind of stuff, very cheap. Like I was at the thrift store, I saw beautiful sheets and fabric like $3, $7, $8. Like you can go there to the thrift store and you can buy fabric at the thrift store. You don't have to go to the fabric land and all that place because the fabric is expensive. But all the surplus things like go to the thrift store. So you can go there and pick up stuff. You can, if you're a person who make like wear skirts and dresses or whatever, you can learn a skill like sewing. You can learn to sew and you can make things. Like you don't need 10 dresses, you don't need 10 skirts. You might need 4 or 5 things and you just wash them and you keep them clean, right? But we into this culture of, oh, we need all that stuff. We don't need all that stuff. Honestly, you don't. You could like take your time and learn to do a skill that is valuable. In the olden times, or even in the olden time, people made their own socks. That's another thing. They sew their own socks. They use cotton fabric. They use wool fabric. They do all that stuff. Nowadays, we just go to the store. We buy socks. If you have a hole, we just throw it away. You know, you could make your own socks. You can like create stuff for yourself. Things that is good, like good value, good material. Like I sew myself some skirts and I have them for years. Better than the skirts that I buy in the store because the material is not that great. They tear, you know what I'm saying? But if you buy a good material and you take your time and you sit there and you make a skirt with a good material, it's going to last you a long time. Like you can make yourself a hat, you can make yourself a mitten. Like you don't have to buy stuff. Take the time to do things, do it properly and good, and don't be a slave to anything. And most of the time you make something, it lasts you for years because you take the time to find the quality thing, the quality material, the quality thread, and the thing that you have is so good and so strong. Instead of just going out there and buying these cheap things and the fabric is not good, the material is not good, the thread is not good, it's not sewn properly, it's not designed properly. You know what I'm saying? And then when things are not designed properly, they tend to break or they tend to tear, and then you have to go back there and spend money. So we live in a system where the system is telling you to consume, but you're consuming, and then the consumption is causing you problems. You know, it's taking away your freedom because it's causing you to lose money. It causing you to lose time also because all these things that we're doing, we need time to do them. So you go to work, you work for 8 hours. This is taking away your time, right? You make something, it's time to make that thing. But if you learn to make something properly, you can do that thing one time and that thing is going to last you for a while. But if you can't do something properly and you depend on somebody to make it for you, they may not make it the way you want it to make. And the quality may not be great. So learn survival skill. Learn to survive on this planet Earth for real, right? Sit there and think about your life and think about things that will be value to you, which would be cost you $0, right? Which skills that you would learn that will, when you use those skills, it will like multiply, it will multiply like tenfold. It's like if you learn to garden, you can grow food in abundance, you can store food, and you don't have to spend money buying certain things. That's a good example. If you learn to budget properly, you can budget your money so good that you would never have to be in financial problems, you know? So these are like skills that you can learn. Or maybe you can take that skill and then use it with other people. Maybe some people, they don't know how to budget. You can charge people to say, okay, let me help you budget. You can charge people a fee to say, okay, how much money are you making? $50,000, $20,000, $24,000. Let me work with you in all your budgets and show people how to use their money wisely. This is something that you learn. You can open a business with it. If you're a good baker, okay, everybody likes bread. Everybody likes to eat bread. Start making bread. You created a skill for yourself that you can make that skill a business. Like I can make soap, shampoos, conditioners, all that kind of stuff. This is a skill. I never have to buy soap in my life again because I can make all the soap that I want. Washing soap, liquid soap, laundry soap, whatever. It's something that I have in my life. I can make soap from ashes. I can make black soap. I can make all kinds of things, but that's a skill that I learned. And everybody needs soap. Everybody needs to wash their clothes. Everybody needs to take a shower, right? You need to wash your hair. You need to wash your body with soap. So that's something that's a valuable skill that you can learn. It's like driving. If you learn to drive, you can drive a vehicle. Take you anywhere you want. You know what I'm saying? If you learn to sew, you can make all kind of clothes. You can make dresses, nightgowns. These are skills that you can learn. If you learn to build. When I was young, my uncles and my family members, they're all builders and they carve things. I learned all the different tools. I know to use all the tools, the hammer, the saw, the drill. I know how to use all the tools. If I want to build something, I can build it. I may not be perfect at it, but I can build something. I can build a structure. I can build a bench. I can create things because as a young child, I sat there and they taught me how to do stuff. They showed me how to build stuff, how to brace things. Like, yeah, these things that I learned. And as I got older, I decided to invest more. Like I bought myself a drill. I bought myself this big cutting machine. Like I have all my tools at the farmhouse. And anytime I want to build something, I just go take my tools out and I build it. Right? I have all the measuring things to measure the angles, all the different things. I have the jigsaw, I have the sander thing to smooth the wood. Like I have all that stuff, but that's a skill that you can learn. God forbid something happened, there's no more house, then you have to build a shelter. You can go there, cut wood, measure, build your own house. When you have to flee to the mountain, we as Israelite people have to flee to the mountain, you're going to need to learn how to build a house. You may not have the electric tools with you, but at least you can take some string or some rope or whatever. You can measure stuff, to cut things, how to make a roof. Like these are skills and that you need to learn skills, real survival skills for your life. Think about the skills. Think hard. Braiding hair, it's another thing. People like to look fashionable. People like to look nice. You can learn to braid hair, all different styles, all kind of different designs. This is a skill that you can learn. Everybody wants to look beautiful. Everybody wants to look gorgeous. You know what I'm saying? Hair is something that is a beauty that everybody admire, everybody love. People want their hair to cut, men want their hair to cut, women want their hair in all kind of different styles. So that's something you can learn. I'm not saying and you could learn something simple, just like braiding hair in cornrow or singles or something like that. Like women like that. So learn skills. Learn skills. Somebody's gonna come to you and say, "Oh, can you do that style in my hair?" They'll pay you to do it. Yeah, nails maybe. Learn something that's gonna be like life saving. Learn a skills that's gonna be needed. Something else you can learn is you can learn about water purification, how to purify your water. All that kind of good stuff. Learn some skills and stop being a slave to this society, to this life. Take control. And then last thing I want to talk about is learn to live life on your own terms. If you don't, you will regret it in your life. You cannot be living somebody else's life. You must be living your life, and you must be happy and grateful every single day that you wake up. You must be happy. When you get up in the morning, you mustn't be like, oh, another day, oh, another bill, another dollar, another 9 to 5. Why? You don't have to. You have a choice. You can make a choice. You know, um, I don't know if I told the story already, but somebody was saying about this old doctor who, she regretted her life because she lived her life, taking care of people, making money, doing all that kind of stuff, and now she's old now, and she didn't really take the time to enjoy herself, to enjoy her life. No children, nobody around her. Now she's older person, and she's like, why? Yeah, I love people, but why didn't I take care of myself? Why didn't I put things in place? Why did I just like devote myself to a career, and didn't really live my life? And now I'm older. I really can't live because I'm sick. So that's very important. Like, don't let anybody own you. Don't let anything own you. Take control of your own life, or else you're definitely going to regret it when you're older. When you look back, you're like, oh, I didn't do this, I didn't do that. No, I don't have this. No, I don't have, I don't have that. Be grateful every day when you wake up. Make smart choices in your life and live the life that you really, really want to live. Like, a lot of people, they are so comfortable in their own little world. They think actually that they're comfortable, but they're not, because they're surrounded by everybody that they know. But is their life great? No, it's not. So why would you be? Because you're surrounded by people you know, that's the only life you know. This is a big world out there. And I know in your brain, in your mind, you have dreams. You have, when you lay down at night, when you're sitting by yourself thinking like, oh, I have that big dream. I want to, I wish to go live somewhere else. I wish to have this nice life. I want, like, why? Why are you stopping yourself from doing it? What is stopping you? Like, sometimes people think that, oh, I gotta have money to do things. Oh, I gotta have this to do. No, no. Life is all around you. Life is everywhere. You just have to be ready to take life when it comes and what it gives to you. Because life gives us a lot of stuff, but we reject it. We don't take it. And I'm gonna tell you guys this last story. Okay, there was this man. This is an old story. This man was looking for a wife. He wanted a wife. All his friends were getting married. You know what I'm saying? And he wasn't getting married. And he keep praying. Say, oh, I wish I had a wife. Blah, 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 blah. And every day he doesn't see anybody. Not to say that there's people out there that he can't get married to. You know what I'm saying? He just in his head have this person that he make up this woman in his mind, and every woman that comes to him, he rejects them. Nothing is wrong with the woman, but something is wrong with his mind, right? So this man is there, and he's getting older, and he doesn't have any kids, doesn't have any any wife or anything else. All his friends are getting married, and so one day he decided to go and pray in the church. He says, I'm going to go to the church to pray today and ask the Lord today to please send me a wife. So he's in the church, goes up to the front pew, sit there and pray and say, Lord, send me a wife. The first woman that comes into this church, please let her be my wife. So while he's kneeling down praying, he heard a knocking, like knock, 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 this knocking, So he didn't look up. He's continued to pray, and then he had like knock, like clock, 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 and when he turned around, then he see this lady. She's coming up, but this lady, she had like a wooden leg. So the knocking sound that he was hearing, this lady walking. So every time she walked with the wooden leg, she walked, it makes a sound. So the lady came and she kneeled right next to him where he was kneeling in the front, and she closed her eyes and she was just quietly praying to herself. She wasn't making any sound. And then when he see this lady, he was like, oh my gosh, but Lord, I just wanted a lady, not lady with one leg. But him being a faithful person, he said, if I make a promise to God, then I gotta keep the promise. So after he finished praying, he sat and waited for the lady to finish praying. Then he approached the lady and started talking to her. And you know what happened? That was the woman for him. He got married to the lady, and they were very happy, and they had children, and he had the life that he wanted to live, right? But like I said, if he wasn't in the church the morning and he didn't say that prayer and that lady didn't come in, he'd have been a lonely man all the rest of his life. You see, even when the woman come in, she had one leg. If he didn't, I think if he had seen the woman outside or somewhere else, he would never marry her. But the story ends is that this man was very happy and he didn't regret marrying the lady with the one leg, the wooden leg that she had. And she had a wooden leg because the way she had a problem with her foot, so she couldn't have like another leg. All the leg that the prosthetic that she could have had to be wooden. So, anyways, and he was very happy. But you see, he would have let life pass him by because of his thinking, and he wasn't really want to accept the things that life have for him. So you out there, are you ready to accept the things that life have for you? The things that the Most High have for you and wants to give you? Or are you thinking, I know better. I know what is best for me. Mother Nature, Father Nature, you know what I'm saying? And I say that on purposely because Adam is the one in the garden who named all the stuff. You understand? So it's Father Nature and not Mother Nature. Mother Nature, I know where that come from. Okay, it's from some movement, but it's Father Nature. Okay, because Adam is the one who named the things and give the things names. So he's the father of the thing because God gave him the power to name the animals and stuff in the garden. And then Eve came along. So we're beautiful. We're women, beautiful women. You understand me? But we have a position and the man has a position. Okay? And we can't take the man position and say Mother Nature. It has to be Father Nature. Okay? So that's what I'm telling you guys that. So in this life, accept what is given to you because there is a power, there is a rotation, and everybody has something to receive. But because you're letting all these things that are out there that is so tangible control your life that you can't see the things that you actually should gain, the things that would make you happy, because too much of these external things are controlling you that you can't really see the things that you should receive, and you can't even accept or grasp the things that you're supposed to get. You know what I mean? So I will end this life to say, please don't let anything stop you from being who you should be. Don't let anything stop you from achieving what you should achieve, and open up your eyes wide so you can see what is in front of you, and stop second guessing things, stop second guessing people. Like, think really long and hard when people come into your path, and look and see what value they bring, or look and see what negative vibes they have, and make your decision based on that. And you can't just see somebody for 1 minute and say, okay, this person's not a good person. You have to see somebody over a period of time. And like the scripture says, let their work prove them. And then you can make a decision. In this society today, our attention span is just like a click of a finger. We have to get away from that. We have to actually focus and see what is in front of us and be really focused and stop like our attention span is just like, and it's gone. We have to be more strict with our thinking. We have to be more focused, and we have to analyze things more before we make decisions, because like I said, this is our life, and the point of living is to be happy. The point of living is to be free, and the point of living is to not be owned by anyone or anything. And I'll end this life by saying, it's like the slavery mentality is the same thing as all these things that is owning you. This is like slavery in a sense, because you're not free. So remove yourself from slavery and be a free man and a free woman today because you watch this video. All right? And this is the truth, the honest truth. So guys, stay blessed, be happy, and Move away from slavery, the slavery of things that is holding you. So remember, you're beautiful. Don't let anybody tell you that you're not. And live a life that is pleasing to you. And everybody in the live, thank you for joining. I appreciate all of you. And I'll see you in the next live because we're doing a vlogamas, vlogamas, but it's liveamas. Okay? So we're gonna be doing a live every single day for the end of the month. All right? So thanks for watching. Bye. I'll see you in the next live.